Hi everyone, welcome back to the Online Biz TV. I am very happy to have Mike Slaats here with me to talk about his entrepreneurial journey. Mike is a serial entrepreneur. He is the founder of Upvoty. The idea for the app actually came from his first startup, Vindy, which actually posted a problem of how do you get feedback from your customers in a high quality way. I'm going to let him tell you more about him and his journey. First of all, Mike, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So let's kick it right off with just tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, how you got into the SaaS world, and where did the idea for Upvoty come from?
Yeah, sure. So my entrepreneurial journey actually started when I was 16 years old. I'm 34 right now, so I'm a little bit older. But when I was 16, I dropped out of college and I already knew I just wanted to build something for myself, to be an entrepreneur, basically. And I actually started in e-commerce. So your background is in e-commerce with Shopify. Back then, there wasn't Shopify, I guess, but I started an e-commerce website where I sold t-shirts with prints on it. And to get more customers, I needed to work on my SEO. When I learned SEO, I quickly managed to sell throughout the whole country, and companies basically are starting to ask me about doing SEO for them. I started a search engine agency. I scaled that one to like 4 or 5 employees, $300,000 on annual revenue. It was great, but it wasn't fulfilled with what I was doing because all the results were for our clients, and I just wanted to work on my own thing again. So that's when I came up with the idea for Vindy. It's an online marketplace where we basically connect homeowners with professionals in the home improvement space. So if you needed to find a painter, you could go to our website and we connect you to a painter in your region. We scaled that one actually to a $1 million business a year. So it was pretty good in terms of revenue. I wasn't really fulfilled once again because it was in a space that I wasn't really passionate about. My passion wasn't in home improvement. So I quickly started to think about a new idea. And around that time, we were growing like crazy and we got a lot of user feedback from our growing customer base. And one day I was looking at user feedback tools and I really couldn't find one that fitted our needs or was looking great and had a great pricing, etc. So I quickly saw a chance to build something for my own. And yeah, that eventually turned out to be Upvoty, which I run now for 3 years and it's doing great. So yeah, that's my journey in a nutshell.
That's awesome. First of all, I love that we have this common background with e-commerce, but also that you went after your passion and didn't just settle for something you weren't really passionate about, but was making money, which I think a lot of people fall into this trap. And it can kind of make you miserable.
Yeah.
So you founded both of these companies yourself, or did you have any partners?
No partners. I never had a co-founder. So I do want to experience it one time to have just a co-founder or a co-founding team, maybe with multiple co-founders. But yeah, I just started those ideas. I quickly attracted some of the team members. So we're now at 5 at Upvoty. I have one core developer who's with me from basically the start. He built Vindy with me. He built Upvoty with me. So that's basically my co-founder, but not official. But yeah, I'm a single founder.
I'm really interested. Are you a developer or do you have any technical background, or did you only come with the idea and find the technical people around you? Because I know this is something that a lot of non-technical founders kind of struggle with.
Yeah, it's always a struggle. I'm non-technical, so I don't have a technical background. I just come up with the idea. I'm a more of a marketing guy, so I focus on the brand or marketing sides. And I have my developers, one front end, one back end, who is building the product. So I talk to our users. I determine the new features to build and how the product would look like, and I do marketing for it, and they build the product basically.
Yeah, I love that. We're the same way. It has its struggles, but it also, I think, has its advantages because when you come into this thinking about marketing first, you see the product differently. You don't think about the little moving pieces that are technical. You actually think about how can I market this to customers?
Yeah.
So what would you say was your biggest setback, your biggest challenge when building Upvoty when you first started?
It all starts with product market fit. So you have this idea and, well, you encounter that idea. So you think there are a lot of people that are having the same problems. And it's always to find out first if there is a market for it. So you can build it for your own problem. But if you really want to build a business out of it, you need more people to use your product and to get some revenue of it, of course. So the only problem was finding product market fit, but we pretty quickly found it. I guess my experience with Vindy helped with that. So we just built a simple MVP, which basically was a landing page that explains what the product would look like. And we asked people to sign up if they were interested. And only when we had like 200 subscribers, we started building the product. So there wasn't any costs. It was a real cheap MVP. And we quickly knew that there was potential in this idea, in this product. One of the main challenges for Upvoty, I think, is still ahead, is building the team. Because with Vindy, we had everyone on the same place. We had everyone in the same city office. And now with Upvoty, we're going to build a remote team because we have customers in Asia and in the US. So we need some people over there as well for customer support and marketing, probably as well. So I think that will be the biggest challenge. But yeah, it's excited because I love to learn new things. So when the time is there, I will start reading books about hiring a remote team. I'll start talking to people that have experience in that space. And yeah, we'll see how it will end up.
That's interesting because for us, we kind of did it the opposite. We started fully remote and we just this year started hiring people locally. We can share the experience if you want, but it's I think it brings a lot of freedom, not only to your employees, but also to you. There is no physical office that chains you to it. You can work from wherever you want. Yeah.
I think a mix between local and remote will be ideal for Upvoty because we need remote employees because in the Asian region and the US region, we have local customers. So we need people over there. But for example, for our marketing or brand activities, I want to build a team over here as well in Holland. So, yeah.
I also think that after COVID, a lot of companies are doing this switch to even allowing their local employees to work more remotely. It's something that people are starting to see the magic of and want to go more towards. I just had one question about your MVP. I think the idea of building an MVP that is just a landing page is like you didn't even build a product, just gauge some interest. I think it's amazing. I'm interested in how you actually drove traffic to this page. Did you do paid ads? Did you do SEO? What was the tactic?
Yeah, I was highly active in the SaaS space already. So I was highly active in Facebook groups, on social media. I even had my YouTube channel back then, I guess. So I quickly could attract some customers in the SaaS space, which are basically our ideal customer profiles because we're building our own SaaS for SaaS teams. So yeah, when we launched the MVP, the landing page, we quickly attracted some signups from that space. Soon after that, we launched on beta sites such as Beta List, etc., to attract some beta users. When we had a first version, our beta product, we quickly could validate some of our features we built. It was a really small product back then, but by talking to our users and also using our own product to gain user feedback, we could optimize the beta version and come up to version 1, which we publicly launched after that.
Awesome. That's great. So you basically use your existing audience and existing engagement to drive traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So on the other end of things, what would you say was the biggest thing that contributed to the success of Upvoty that helped you build the product to what it is today?
Well, yeah, sounds a bit crazy maybe, but I guess our own product really contributed to what it is today because we didn't have any sales up to this point. It's pure organic growth. And I think Upvoty, our own product, really contributed in this way that we could talk to users, connect to users, and we really knew what to build next in order to reach the second phase. Yeah, so I guess Upvoty really contributed that way in building the product, which is our core focus right now.
Yeah, I love that. We always say that the most important thing about a product is the product. I mean, marketing can't get customers and it can't get them to actually stay with you unless your product is good. Okay, so I think we talked a little bit about this, but what was your main marketing strategy to get the first 100 customers? I mean, you said you had a waiting list of 200, so maybe it was these customers, but did you have anything additional to get the first traffic?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the first 100 paying customers, maybe, because those were signups. Some of them converted into paying customers, so we were lucky with that. Actually, before we launched publicly, we already had some paying customers, so that was really great. Looking back at the product back then, I don't know why they were paying, because it was such a small product and it was really, really bad on multiple levels. But we were really fortunate to have some of our early adapters to become paying members. But the real growth came from our public launch on Product Hunt and Indie Hackers, which has an audience that really needs such a product as Upvoty. So I guess the main tip I would say is to get it in front of your target audience, your ideal customers. And for us, it was Product Hunt, Indie Hackers. We started blogging real soon, maybe even before we launched, if I can remember correctly. This already resulted in some organic growth and organic signups and also paying customers. Then when we had a couple of customers, we were fortunate to have a couple of big brands that were using Upvoty, and we have this product that says powered by Upvoty. So we see a lot of new customers coming from that link in the product of our customers. So that's a really great way to get new leads and signups.
This is a collection of really good tips. I love the idea of whenever you have something that is front end, that is customer facing, you actually add a little bit of a branding from your product. That way you can get traffic, even if it's a free user, they're generating traffic for you and they're actually generating some more leads. We started doing it with some of our products. It's an interesting experience to do. We're still working on optimizing it and actually getting traffic from that. So how do you decide what next features to build with Upvoty? How do you decide what is the next thing you're working on?
Yeah, so the main principle of using Upvoty, which I encourage our users to look at it that way as well. So it's not like every new feature request we get on Upvoty will be built into a feature and into our product. So we really want to connect first. So by using Upvoty, we get a lot of feature requests. We can talk to our users about their problem or their needs. And sometimes there's already an existing solution that they just don't know about, or it's just a little tweak on an existing feature. And sometimes it's a new feature. And if it's a new feature, we leave it on the public board, which allows Upvoty to share it with all of your users, and they can upvote, hence the name Upvoty, and use the product owner, just know what to build next. So it's pretty easy for us to add new things to our roadmap. But before we do, we just want to talk to users, really understand their problem, and maybe come up with a different solution for them. But otherwise, we just know what to build next feature-wise.
So you're basically using Upvoty to know what to build next for Upvoty.
Yeah, we're eating our own dog food, yeah.
Awesome. Customer communication is the most important thing when you decide on your product roadmap. We actually found out, we started collecting customer feedback in an Excel sheet in the beginning. And we found out that a lot of the features we thought were incredible and people will love them. It was like a 3-month in development feature kind of a thing. We found out that actually some really small wins were what people really wanted. And it was eye-opening to learn how much we had a very clear idea, but our customers maybe actually wanted something different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's really valuable.
Definitely. So can you share a little bit about where Upvoty is today as far as customers or revenue or whatever you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, we're sharing our numbers publicly, so that's no problem. We're now currently at $15,000 MRR, pure organic growth here. We're adding about $1,000 MRR each month, but we have some things lined up sales-wise. So we're aiming for between $25,000 and $30,000 MRR before the end of the year. So let's see if we can make that. We have over 500 customers at this point.
Amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the brand that you're building is helping drive customers. I personally really believe in these kind of things as a tool to engage with your audience and customers long-term and not just get, quick installs that maybe make you a little bit of money for a few months and then they leave. Okay, so a few last questions just to wrap things up. First of all, this is something we ask everyone we interview here. If you could choose one superpower to have, what would it be?
That's a fun question. I guess it would be time traveling, because I'm really intrigued by how we got here today. So for example, I would love to time travel back to the Roman Empire and see some battles over there, or maybe become an emperor myself, who knows? But time travel would be fun.
Yeah, time travel sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds also kind of scary because you can see where things end. Like, how do we ruin the planet? I want to give you the floor to ask one question to our viewers that they can answer in the comment. So what would you like to ask them?
maybe on the topic of Upvoty, what problem are you building right now, and how are you talking with your customers and getting feedback? Because there are a lot of ways to get feedback, and I'm always curious how people are handling feedback themselves.
Wonderful question. So guys, how are you collecting feedback on your products or whatever projects you're working on? Comment down below. We would love to hear it. So Mike, again, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. I'm sure you gave a lot of great tips and great advice for a lot of our viewers. I personally am going to try at least 2 of the things we talked about. So thank you. We're going to link down below all of Mike's social media. Go ahead and follow him. Also, check out his YouTube channel. It has some really great content, and it's going to also be linked down below. We would be happy to offer a 10% discount for people coming into Upvoty with the code OnlineBiz. I'm going to put a link with the code down below. So guys, go check it out. Check Upvoty and start using it to get feedback from your customers. Thank you. Have a great day.
Perfect. Thank you.